The Pixel 8a is a confusing phone, but it's not a bad phone. And I want to set the record straight in this video because I've had a lot of complaints more about the marketability, who this phone is for, and the price point than the actual phone itself, because the phone itself is actually pretty good. And that's some of the stuff that I want to talk about in this video because, well, not necessarily everybody is going out and spending $500 for it. So if you've got a trade-in, it could be very appealing to some folks, or if you get it for free with some certain carrier deals, those are some great opportunities, and I don't want you to miss out on that because I think that it's not a great deal at $500. So I want to talk about that in this video. Before we get into that, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Now, let's talk about the Pixel 8a. So the Pixel 8a, I mean, I've said my piece many times. I just didn't think that the phone makes a lot of sense because it's so similar in many ways to the Pixel 8, which I think is a pretty decent phone, and they had really good deals on it. But we also have to remember the Pixel 8 came out in October. It is now May, and now we have the Pixel 8a. Google's done this for quite a few years. They have the main phone that comes out, wait around till early part of the summer, late spring. They come out with the A series. And the A series has historically been a pretty good value proposition, especially back when the Pixel 4a came out. That, I think, was the pinnacle of the A series phone because it was priced so well and had such a good camera and had a decent chip in it when the rest of the mid-tier department basically didn't exist or they were quite crappy phones. So things have changed a lot. The landscape is different. I mean, there's a lot of other phones you can look at. You could look at the OnePlus 12T. You could look at the Motorola ThinkPhone. You can look at the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. There are some high caliber phones that have a lot of great features, even near flagship level at good prices. And then you have the Pixel 8a, the charming little phone that comes in at $499. And of course, it's the only one you can get in this aloe green color. I really like this aloe green color. I'm trying to see how I get it hit right here with the light. It looks really nice in person. When you look at it online, it looks so like neon, kind of almost tropical color. But when you see it in person, it just looks so much nicer. But anyway, so yeah, I had a lot of problems with this phone because I'm like, all right, if you're making it so similar, like you gave it the 120 hertz, the screen size is like 0.1 inch difference, but really when you take a look at it, because of the bezels are larger on here, it's really about the same size screen in all actuality, and it has basically the same battery level. It has a lot of very similar characteristics, but then you're selling it for $499. I really feel like it's more of a $399, maximum $449 kind of proposition when this first comes out. We know in a couple of months they're going to drop the price on it, especially this fall, especially when the Pixel 9 series comes out. So I know there's not millions of people just clamoring to go buy one of these day one, but there are ways you can get this phone, and I think that it is a good phone. Like, I don't think it's a bad phone, and my thoughts around this phone, as negative in some ways as they were never actually at the phone itself. It's just like, what is Google doing? Because if you're going to make phones so similar, and then a couple of months into the life of the Pixel 8, you're going to be selling it for the same price or $50 more than what this one costs, what's the point? It just doesn't make any sense. All you're doing is just recreating a very similar phone and dropping a couple of the different features or characteristics and then undercutting your own pricing. It just doesn't make any sense. So I think in the future, they just need to make the 8 more like the A series if they're going to keep these prices higher and just get rid of the 8. I don't really see the point. But anyway, I digress from that. The camera, it is excellent for what you get, especially if you take a look at last year. It's the same camera setup as last year with the Pixel 7a, which did really well. I mean, it got all sorts of praise. It got some awards. It got some other cool stuff. It was noted as, I think, the best camera on MKBHD's blind comparison test, which offered 3 different shots. I think a normal shot, a night shot, and a portrait. So it has some good stuff going there. I mean, you have the Pixel DNA. It's now supported for 7 years. So you get 7 years of operating system updates, 7 years of security patches. It's getting Gemini Nano. And yeah, I mean, that's a lot whenever you take a look at a $500 phone. It's got the AI stuff that's built into it, which is pretty darn good. There's some nice features. You've got all AI, the computational photography stuff. You've got the Magic Editor, Magic Eraser. You got Photo on Blur. You've got Circle to Search. You've got a lot. You got all these things. There's just so many different things that are value packed into the software, and then you're going to get 7 years of support. And the Tensor G3 is a good chip. It's come a long way since the Tensor G1, and I thought the Tensor G1 was a good value proposition in the Pixel 6a when it came out, And if you want to go get a $200 Pixel 6a, it's still not a bad phone, still supported for like another year for operating system updates. So there's a lot of positives when you look at this on paper. Yeah, it's got Gorilla Glass 3. Yeah, it's got a plastic back, but it's funny, I don't really like plastic backs, but I highlighted it in a recent video, and a lot of people are like, no, I prefer the plastic back. People think it's more durable than glass, which in ways it is. It won't shatter. It'll just absorb the scuff and you'll move on. And of course, you can always put a case on it. But by and large, I like the brushed aluminum sides. It very much reminds me, I think, the iPhone 13, 14 series. And overall, I mean, the camera bar, it does not raise up very high like some of the other phones people complain about. The speakers are okay. It's got good haptic feedback, solid selfie camera. It's got excellent point and shoot capabilities. And I mean, it's a neat looking phone. And you can get pretty cheap accessories for it on Amazon, things like that. So I think there is a value proposition here for people who are interested in it. But of course, when I talk about value, I like to make sure that the consumer gets the best value. So I always like to let y'all know there's other options. I think the Motorola ThinkPhone is still a very good phone. I would probably buy it over this, just especially because you get it for $399, and it's got the Snapdragon 8 Plus Generation 1. I think the camera is quite good in it as well. It's been getting monthly updates. It's got Android 14 now. And it's got a lot of neat Microsoft software features, Motorola software features in there. And overall, I just love the phone. So there's a lot to like there, and it's a good contrast to this phone. So I like to make sure when I talk about value, I want to provide you with options and let you know that this isn't necessarily the go-to phone. But for some people it is. People trust the Google name for whatever reason. I'm just joking. But yeah, there is some trust there in the Google name in certain areas. And the fact that they give you 7 years of support for security and updates. This phone, like, how many phones can you say cost $500 and they're going to be good for 7 years, and it's got 120 hertz refresh rate, it's got a nice bright screen on it? Apple needs to take some serious notes here, because as much as I have harped on the Pixel 8a, then you still have Apple selling the iPhone SE 2022 for over $400. I mean, as much as I like the iPhone SE 2022, this is a much better phone in just about every area. And then you take a look at their entry-level phone is $799. Well, if you look at an $800 iPhone 15, you're still getting a 60 hertz refresh rate. You're still getting not as nice of a screen. You only get the 2 cameras, of course, but I think the point-and-shoot camera with the Pixel is better. Maybe you get pretty long-term support, but very, very similar are these phones in a lot of ways. But the Pixel 8a, I think, beats it in a lot of areas, and I'm not going to pay $800 for an iPhone. The thing about the iPhone is, it's like the pedestrian everyone iPhone that you can get every 2 or 3 years with your carrier for free. You trade in the old one, and that's, I think, one of the ways people look at this phone. There's not a lot of people just straight up paying $500 for this phone. There was a deal with Google Fi for $299. You can get it with Google Fi for free right now at 0% APR, 24 months, 0 payments. So, I mean, there are ways you can get this phone, and it can be good, but other people made arguments about, oh, well, you can get it through your AT&T or T-Mobile. Like, well, yeah, maybe you can still get it for that deal, but you can also get like an iPhone 15 on us. You can get like on us, as in like T-Mobile's how they use their jargon, or AT&T, you can get an S24 Plus for free. I would get an S24 Plus for free before I would get this for free, because the S24 Plus is a much better phone. So there are things when you look at it where objectively you can say, okay, this might be the right phone for some folks. But what I wanted to clear up in this video is that it is a good phone. It's not a bad phone. I've already laid out my case for why I have frustrations with it and what Google has done with this lineup. But if you want to go get one, $500, decent deal at your carrier, wireless charging, you've got 120 hertz refresh rate, you got over 4,500 milliamp battery, all-day battery, Tensor G3, nice screen, good cameras. I mean, there's a lot to like here, and the stuff that there isn't to like, most people don't either pay attention to or don't care about, and are largely negligible in a lot of ways. So that's it. I'm going to wrap this one up. I will have my full review on this probably next week. I'm going to have camera samples and all that stuff and B-roll, so everybody can be happy and watch the entertainment picture book show with the video. But I wanted to set the record straight with this one and let people know I don't hate this phone. I don't hate the phone. And I think that in many ways it can be a very good phone for certain people who are interested in it with a lot of long-term value and support. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.